Now, for you folks new to motocross, that's Moto 1. We'll combine that score with the score in Moto 2 to determine an overall winner for the day. Here we go, live on NBC.
Who's it going to be? Looks like a Suzuki.
Into the first turn. Oh, and a big pileup. That's the danger out here at Red Bud. 2 riders down and quickly back up on their machines. Meanwhile, it's the Honda of Tedesco leading his teammate Short. And Short runs into the back of Tedesco. Reed is in third. Michael Byrne fourth. Tedesco, last week's winner from Colorado, out front here in Michigan.
Tedesco wanting a little redemption on Red Bud from that first moto, guaranteed. We're going to see what happens here. Nino Reed wants to get in front of Andrew Short as quick as he can. And look how rough it is getting into those turns there.
All right, another bad start for Grant, who is second in Moto 1. We'll see if he can work his way through. You've got the leader, Tedesco on the red bike. Reed has moved into second in front of Short on the 29, who's in third. Then the other yellow bike, that's the 26 of Michael Byrne. Look at Short coming back after Reed, just like Moto 1. Short's going to go to the inside. Side by side, Reed fights back. Now he got a sweeping left-hand turn. Who's line? Who's got the right angle into this next corner? And I think Reed's got it, David. Short's not giving up.
Oh, same place he got past the first moto.
Right.
He's got to be careful for Andrew Short. I think he knows that. Andrew ain't scared to throw it in there, you know, but you know, Chad's probably thinking, well, if he ran out of steam the first moto, I'll just wait and let us do his thing here. But can't give him too much leeway. And look who's poking in there.
That's the 33 on the blue bike of Josh Grant. A much better start this time. Really not a better start. He just passed a bunch of guys here on lap 1 to get to fourth. So the big hitters are all up front, David. We are in store for a great race.
This will be good. And Josh makes his move on Chad Reed. He didn't waste any time. Chad left the door open there, but Josh really just slingshotted that inside. He was confident after the first race. He said, I got their number. Well, now he gets to prove it.
Absolutely. He caught them. He knows he's got the speed. And another thing, too, they want to get by Chad Reed so fast, too. And when I was racing him as well, you can't let him get out front. You can't let a good guy get out like front because they get comfortable. And when they get comfortable, they just keep clicking in them good laps, and the rest is history.
Tedesco could help Andrew Short get this overall win. It's early in the race to be counting chickens, but you know, Andrew needs a little bit of help getting third in the first heat.
Absolutely, but they are all so close in points. I don't think that Ivan wants to help Andrew. I think he wants to help himself for this title, man.
That's true. Here we are, folks. 1 lap in the books. We're going to run 30 minutes and 2 laps. There's Andrew Short in second on the red bike. Josh Grant third on the blue machine. And they're already putting some distance between themselves and Reed. And Reed has struggled time and time again this season early in the races. It seems like he's able to bring the field back to him in the latter laps. But early in the races, just like in Moto 1, same thing here in Moto 2, Reed has struggled. And right now, 3 riders have gotten around him early.
And the pace is fast. Look at Chad back there going, man, I thought I was running a pretty good pace, and these guys have just checked out on him. So, you know, like Ricky said, sometimes you just let these guys kind of go and do their thing, and then you reel them back in. Chad knows that he's been able to do that before, and early in the race, see a little bit of water on the track. You can get that on your goggles, and it's hard to see, so why not back off a little bit and then just reel them back in when this track starts coming around. Takes a lot of confidence to do that, but I think Chad's pretty confident today.
Absolutely, and he's like I was saying earlier, he knows he's going to be there at the end for the most part. He always has been, and that's why I think he don't stress. Where these guys, they try to get it all done at the beginning, but I think the guy right there, number 33, Josh Grant, he better not give him too much leeway because hands down, I think he's the fastest guy right now today.
Yeah, I have a feeling, Ricky, that he's either going to fall this moto trying so hard or he's going to win it.
Yeah, either way. And that's cool. You like to see a guy that is trying his hardest. This track is just so much fun to you guys at home. I mean, the dirt is perfect. It's fun jumps. It's got some really good turns. You guys can see it's not super sandy. It's almost like we call an intermediate soil. And it's perfect.
This is awesome because the mix-up from Moto 1, the rider who finished 4th is in the lead, the rider who finished 3rd is in 2nd, the rider who finished 2nd is in 3rd, and the rider that won is in 4th. It's an exact reverse order of where we were in Moto 1. So we'll try to do the math and figure out who wins this thing as they hit the Lucas Oil Leap. It's going to be hard to figure out. And Grant, I think he might have backed it down just a little bit. He's happy to have gotten around Reed and now maybe doing some homework, studying the rider in front of him, Short. This is Grant on the 33. Going to school here and studying the lines of Short to try to figure out a way around.
You know, it just seems like Josh Grant's bike is so fast. I don't know if it's his gearing or if it's just straight up horsepower, but he just gets such a good drive coming out of the turns that I thought, you know, most of these bikes are pretty close, you know, and it just seems like, man, he just gets a drive out of the turns that's unbelievable.
Well, you're involved in NASCAR now, so you know what kind of resources Joe Gibbs has. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine they got that thing running pretty good.
Now they're headed toward the big ski jump. Jamie Bestwick's down there. Jamie.
Yeah, thanks guys. I'm over at the ski jump, and low and smooth is the order of the day in this jump. You have to scrub the jump, and in order to get the speed into the flowing part of the track, that's what you really need to do. You do it too much, ask Ryan Dungey the results of that. And Michael Lessie a couple of years ago took a terrible crash, really violent, and this track will do it to you. So this is the part to get it right. It owns it all up. It's real fast out here, and the Red Bull fans are loving it.
You know what happened to me one time, Ricky? I had a dream before the race that I was coming off that jump, and the tractor was coming up the hill. I had the whole shot, and I woke up like, ah! And the next day, I got the whole shot, and as I approached that, I let off a little bit, and a couple guys went by me.
I would have let off too if I had that dream.
Yeah, that's pretty scary. Tedesco, he's on the run that dreams are made of right now. He is out front, but he's got company. Short, Grant, Reed, they're all right there. Stay with us live on NBC. Welcome back, AMA Pro Motocross here on NBC. An incredible battle. You're watching the race for second. Josh Grant on the blue bike going after the 29 of Andrew Short, and he gets to the inside. That's where he made a pass on him in the first moto, and Grant makes it happen.
Here we go. He might get back on the inside, try to ride a wide back, and
quite.
he doesn't. He doesn't.
Very impressive, Ricky.
Josh Grant gets in that cushion right there, full traction.
All right, now we mentioned before, Josh Grant goes so hard, he can win or he can crash. And his team, Joe Gibbs Racing, Toyota Yamaha, they made some precautions in case he does crash to get him the finish. It's time for our tech tip.
All right, I want to show you guys something new we're running this weekend. We actually have this tank blanket here that CV4 made us this weekend. It's basically keep the heat to not heat up our gas tank. It's like the umbrella for our fuel tank. We'll just run it right before the starting line. We'll take it off, and then we'll go race. Then we also have these clutch levers that when you crash, you can put it back into place real easy so the rider doesn't have to take too much time and get back on the track. And then if there's a play in the clutch, they can adjust it with their hand. Tight or loose, whatever they need to do. Quick adjust on the fly. And then the front brake here, we also have springs in the levers. Keep our guys on the track. Even if they crash, we can keep them going. There you have it from Red.
If anybody tuned in,
Go ahead.
a few weeks ago, they saw Josh's bike do some somersaults, and that's important to have that stuff. You don't want to, think you're going to crash, but it happens sometimes. And we're going to take another look at the pass.
Sets him
Andrew
up.
knew it. He knew it going up the hill like, oh, what was I thinking? That's the same way he got passed in the first heat. Josh takes over the line, and now he's got Tedesco down there to chase after. And it looks like he's already got a little bit of a gap on Andrew, so he can afford to take the lines he likes.
Did you see that, how Josh Grant jumped right there? That's pretty cool. Keeps your suspension nice and loose, doesn't pack up. Third position. Reed's still in there, dude. This is not over. He could be waiting.
Absolutely, and the battle for the overall, when we count both motos, Reed needs to finish in front of Grant, so he can't let the rider get too far away. There's Reed right there on the yellow number 22. He's fourth, but he's a cagey one. He has won more races and championships at this level than the riders that he's battling with, Short, Grant, and Tedesco. And that basically means is you can expect Reed to play the strategy game down the stretch. And there's been several motos this year where it looked like someone had the measure of Chad, and then late in the race, he's come back on them. Here's Tedesco. Rider out of New Mexico, won the last round of the series in Colorado, struggled a bit in Moto 1 today, and finished fourth. Oh. He is riding the ragged edge trying to win this second Moto.
That shows just how easy it is to just start thinking, man, I think I got this. And then, bam, you're down, just like that.
You know, his bike looks better to me, this moto, than it has all season long in the outdoor season. I don't know if he's made an adjustment or what he's done, but the front end looks a lot better. Doesn't look like it's deflecting as much. And it really shows this kind of track, especially in a turn like this, an off-camber turn. Bailey here is the best at it. And you have to have good front-end traction there. And you see the guys that are good on it, they're always steering with their front.
I worked really hard on the front suspension of my bike, and I didn't care as much about the rear. And something to think about for anybody that's ridden before. If you have a front flat tire, you can't even ride. But if you get a rear flat, you can still make it work. Front is so important to get under control. And like you said, Ricky, that Looks like Ivan's got that figured out in the